we knock this guy out. We have got the opportunity of a lifetime.
If he's on form, he could be a real handful. It's known as the Nordic Nightmare.
I don't like the fact that Helenius is 6'8".
Utterly ruthless.
Long arm.
Boom.
Got a good jab.
This is really a dangerous fight.
Is it actually worth this risk or gamble?
Yeah, Westfield Shopping Centre starting to fill up here in West London. Obviously, the anticipation is starting to bubble as they're going to see Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius hit the scales in about 45 minutes. I'm Adi Oladipo, surrounded by world champions. They've obviously just pulled out the big guns for this one. David Haye, Tony Bellew, Darren Barker. Let's get straight into this one. David, I want to put your managerial hat on. Obviously, you've managed fighters before. When you hear the news about Dillian Whyte, if you're in AJ's camp, do you say for him to pull the fight card, or do you say for him to continue?
Keep it rolling.
Yeah?
Keep it rolling. He's trained for a date. He's ready to fight. Although he may not earn the money as a pay-per-view event would, he's in condition. He's looking at the big one against Deontay Wilder. You know, Robert Helenius is a good opponent in terms of size, stature, fighting style. He's got that long lead left hand, a similar sort of stance that Wilder has. I think he's a perfect second option.
Same question to you, Tone.
He's 6'6", he's big, he's heavy. If he gives you the slap, mate, it's going to hurt. Why not face him? So he's just coming off a win last Saturday. I don't know where it was in a castle in the middle of nowhere, but listen, he's got out there, he's got the rounds in, and he's ready for action, so why not?
Yeah, Darren Barker, me and you spoke at the press conference the other day. So many different options floating about. Do you think this is the best option?
Look, the most important thing is he's a credible opponent. I said to you Wednesday that it's kind of a no-win situation. The reason I said that is because Deontay Wilder knocked him out in one round, and it's the potential future opponent for AJ. He's got to get that out of his head. But what I will say is he's got to knock out Helenius.
Yeah.
I think you'll agree. This can't go points.
Yeah.
He has to be knocking Helenius out, and I think that's why this is going to be exciting on Saturday.
I think it was similar, though, when you went in with Jermaine Franklin. You wanted the knockout, but when you realised Dillian Whyte couldn't knock Jermaine Franklin out, so on paper it's really not too bad, but this time you've been done in a round and you need to be done again. So I would say anything more than 6 rounds is a little bit of a dismal display and not a good showing, but I think if Josh comes in here, does what he can usually do, he gets rid of Helenius inside 6 pretty easily.
Yeah, David Diamante getting his vocals warmed up. We are very, very close to our first undercard weigh-in, Maisie Rose Courtney versus Gemma Rugg. On a guy that you know very, very well on the undercard, Chisora, still continuing his career. A lot of people maybe think he should have pressed pause after the Tyson Fury fight. He fights again, this time taking on Gerald Washington. What do you make of Chisora?
Washington's a good opponent. He's been there. He's a big man. I've watched them spar together. There's some good action-packed rounds, and I think it's a nice, not ticking over fight. It's a real fight.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying it's a 50-50 fight, but that's Derek. He likes to chuck himself in the deep end. He was trying to get this fight as the standing opponent here, but he's on the show. He's been training, and it'll be interesting. Derek always gives value for money, no matter who he's fighting. So I'm looking forward to it. Gerald Washington, obviously. Long arms, he's got a good jab. Can Derek get beyond that jab and rough him up and take him into that deep water early? I think he's going to need to. If he tries to have a boxing match with someone so much bigger and longer, he's going to have a hard night. Yeah,
I'll ask you both about Filip Hrgovic and Chisora a bit later, but we are going to start the weigh-ins now. Remember, it is Maisie Rose Courtney versus Gemma Rugg. Let's cross over to your MC, Mr. David Diamante.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to London, England. We're here in Westfield for the official weigh-in for a big night of world-class professional boxing taking place at the O2 Arena on Saturday night. Now, it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, Lucozade Sport, Forged Irish Stout. It's the world's creamiest stout, and it's now available at Asda and, of course, JD Sports. And all the action will go out live around the world exclusively on DAZN. It's a great fight card. We have 8 fights in total, and we have 4 heavyweight clashes on the card. So it's a top-heavy heavyweight bill, and I can't wait to see it. And, of course, Anthony Joshua Robert Helenius at the top of the bill. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start the weigh-in. Let's bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. our first contest, 6 rounds in the super flyweight division. Now making her way to the stage with a professional record of 7 wins, 7 defeats, 1 draw, fighting out of Bournemouth, ladies and gentlemen, Gemma, the Rebel Rueg. And her opponent now making her way to the stage. She's undefeated in her young professional record thus far. 3 fights, 3 victories. The 6-time national champion fighting out of Eltham, London, England, Maisie Rose. Now to the scale, Gemma, the Rebel Rueg. 113.8, 113 pounds, 8 ounces for Gemma, the Rebel Rueg. And now to the scale, the young undefeated Maisie Rose. 114.4, 114 pounds, 4 ounces for Maisie Rose.
Maisie Rose Courtney there, in shape as always, always in shape, Darren. You done a bit of yoga with her a few days ago. How hard was that for you?
For me, very difficult. For Maisie, it wasn't. Look, do you know what? I've been impressed with Maisie. She looked really, really good last time out against Kate Radomska. This is a step up though for Maisie. Rueg, she's experienced. She's naturally, you wouldn't see it there, but naturally fought at a heavier weight. So this is a test for Maisie Rose.
Rose v. Rueg, 6-round super flyweights matchroom boxing live on DAZN from London, England.
Come on, gents, get in, gentlemen. What's it like opening a card like that? Obviously, look, when you get in there in the arena, yes, it's sold out, but it won't be when she walks.
Never done it.
Never been a card
Never done it.
All of you main and co-main all the time.
I'll tell you what did happen once though. I did get pushed further up, down the card rather, and I personally don't mind it. You kind of expect it a little bit when you're, starting out a novice pro. And look, she'll be buzzing just to get another win under her belt if she can do. Because like I say, Rueg's a good fighter. But then you go and get to enjoy the rest of the show.
Indeed. Here's Brandon Scott as well. Normally wearing a Spider-Man uniform, so it's actually good that we can see his face. I like what he's trying to do, Brandon Scott. He's trying to set himself, put himself out there. What do you make of his antics at the press conference?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, a couple of his jokes went down like a lead balloon, but I like what he's doing. Look, at the end of the day, he understands that this is a business. You've got to tick multiple boxes, and Brandon's doing that. But most importantly, on the Cordina Rakhimov bill, he looks very, very good.
Indeed, he did. Let's throw her back again to David Diamante for this one.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, we're going to go 6 rounds in the featherweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 14 victories, 13 defeats. He has 1 draw with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Shepshed, Leicestershire. Please welcome Louis Too Sweet Norman. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. Undefeated as a professional, 5 fights, 5 victories, 1 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Swansea, Wales, please welcome Brandon Boom Boom Scott. Now the scale, Too Sweet Louis Norman. 133.9 for the man from Shepshed, 133.9 for Louis Norman. And now to the scale, the undefeated Brandon Boom Boom Scott. .9 131 pounds, 9 ounces for Brandon Boom Boom Scott.
kids. I can't get this.
One thing I like about Brandon Scott, Darren, is that what he said was that all the antics are there, but let's not forget how good I am. He was one of Wales' biggest prospects, and he still is. He wants to prove that he belongs at this level, doesn't he? And he can be on these big shows.
Look, he's a very good fighter. He showed us a bit of everything. And what I like about him, though, he tries to entertain outside the ring, he tries to entertain in the ring. Very naturally aggressive, works the body really well, and yeah, special talent.
How difficult is it, guys? I mean, you two, I'm happy that we've got David A and Tony Bellew there. Guys that knew how to entertain, right? You knew how to sell fights. How difficult is that?
The most important thing is you've got a dance partner.
Yeah.
Can't do it on your own. Because if you try doing it on your own, you just look stupid. So, thankfully, I had a couple. I had the best one. It was next to me, but yeah, you need someone who knows the business and knows what they're doing, but yeah, that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah, Brandon, he gave it everything he had at that press conference. It's quite amusing. But he was trying, he was giving it. It's about entertainment, it's about getting people talking about you. And he's doing that. So it takes a little something at the start, but he's definitely gone chips in with it.
Yeah, the fact is we're talking about him now. Anyway, let's cross over to David Diamante for our third fight, the final fight on Before the Bell.
Let's keep it rolling, guys. Our next contest that we're bringing up is 6 rounds in the middleweight division. And making his way to the stage at this time is professional record, 5 victories against 1 defeat. He has 3 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Tilburg in the Netherlands. Please welcome Boss Balboa Osterweil. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect. 3 fights, 3 victories, all 3 victories coming by way of knockout. He's the 4-time amateur national champion. He fights out of Billericay, Essex, ladies and gentlemen, George Liddard. And that is Yale, Boss Balboa Osterweil. 164.7 for Boss Balboa Osterweil. And out of the scale, the undefeated man from Billericay, Essex, George Liddard. 162 and 3 ounces for George Liddard.
Both guys in fantastic shape. George Liddard always in shape. Is it a case of him just getting the fights now, staying busy?
First and foremost, Liddard received the biggest compliment of his career so far last time he fought. He was compared to a young Darren Barker.
Wow.
So,
wow. Who said that? Incredible.
That's a massive...
The pressure's going to be too much for him. How's he going to come?
Look, do you know what? I've been so impressed with this young man. I speak to Tony Sims, his trainer. Brilliant work ethic, fantastic talent.
Natural boxing live on the zone from London, England.
I like that. I like a bit of that. Chirp towards each other. You know, it's going to be a fiery first round. You can tell immediately.
Yeah, he believes in himself. Liddard, he really does, and he's got every right to do so. Very good fighter.
You want as well. You don't want prospects to have guys that they can just run through. Right? You want tests, don't you? And this will be a test as well. Look, that completes the Before the Bell show. They're all weighed in. Remember, it's 3 fights which start at 5:15. The first one, obviously, Maisie Rose Courtney versus Gemma Ruick. Brandon Scott, looking forward to seeing him versus Louis Norman. The one we've just seen there as well. George Liddard in good action as well. So that's 5:15. Then we're on the zone. And you know the zone is the home of boxing.
And now entering the arena, the Wow U5.
Beautifully timed punches being thrown here. Zapata is always looking for the big shot, get his respect. Performance. Warrington! Big attack from Warrington! Yeah.
No, what for me it's about putting on a dominant performance. I'll prove that on the night.
Chantel! Cameron desperately desperately working away. Good combinations from Taylor.
And still the undisputed champion of the world.
Yeah, loads of boxing coming up on the zone, as you just saw there, the standout ones. I mean, your fight versus Frank, that's coming up next Saturday in Birmingham. Your fight headlines for the first time in his hometown. And then Wood versus Warrington, a fight that many people maybe thought we wouldn't see, we do see. And I love the fact it's on neutral ground as well. Sheffield, October the 7th. KSI versus Tommy Fury. KSI taking on a real legit boxer in Tommy Fury. That should be a good one. The zone pay-per-view October the 14th. And then the rematch. Of course, Katie Taylor was going to ask to do this one again. All goes down Saturday, November 25th. Cameron versus Taylor 2 at 140 pounds as well. She's not saying drain her to 135. She's like, let's stay at 140 and roll the dice again.
Fair play, and what a schedule.
What a schedule indeed. All right, we're ready to get this show going. Is the main portion of the card now. Campbell Hatton versus Tom Ansell will open it for us. Let's cut over to David Diamante.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next contest, 8 rounds, super lightweights. Let's bring them to the stage. Now, coming up the steps, 10-4 with 2 knockouts, fighting out of Hitchin in Hertfordshire. Please welcome Tom Ansell. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is undefeated as a professional, 12 fights, 12 victories, 5 of them coming by way of knockout. Proudly fighting out of Manchester, England, Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton. Out of scale, Tom Ansell. 141.9 for Tom Ansell. 141.9. And now to the scale, the undefeated Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton.
141 and 8 ounces.
141.8 for the undefeated Mancunian. 141.8 for Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton.
Campbell Hatton, I mean, me and Darren just pointed at each other. They're looking really good.
Maturing,
isn't he?
really physically maturing and maturing in his performances as well. We've seen, look, it was always going to be baby steps with Campbell Hatton, but he's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I love the way he's handled the pressure. You can see the crowd here in Westfield starting to really fill up here now. Again, they're all waiting to see the main man, Anthony Joshua, but I love the way he's handled the pressure. Yeah. Because early on, there was a lot of stick, right? He was being put high on cards. He maybe wasn't performing the way he wanted to, the way he performed in sparring. Now we're starting to see the best of him.
Yeah, and look, he'll have to be at his best on Saturday, because Ansell is a live game opponent. Speaking to his trainer, Tony Pill, really believes he's got a good shot Saturday night, so this will be a good fight.
Yeah, Campbell Hatton, no surprise there, making sure that he drapes the Man City blue over his shoulders. Look, both men in great shape as well. You mentioned Tom Ansell there. Tom Ansell in great shape, not coming to lose. I know he's lost his last 2, but he thinks he can cause Campbell Hatton some problems.
He does. You know, he feels he's got enough in the tank, so did his coach, Tony Pill. So, yeah, we're in for a good fight.
Matchroom Boxing, live on the zone from London, England.
All right, that's it. That's a small weight, guys and girls. It's now time for the big fights. 4 fights still to weigh in, and it's all about the heavyweights.
We go to the big boys of boxing, the heavyweight division.
There's the boxing business, and there's the heavyweight boxing business. He's calling on that indomitable spirit. Derek Chisora producing compelling heavyweight action.
So physically strong, Fisher.
Big shot, huge right hand, and the referee waves it off.
Let's see how Hrgovic can close the show here.
Dempsey McKean, landing combination.
Finishing blows.
Wow!
He does a right hand, and that's it. Special levels of courage, special levels of endurance here, special levels of determination.
Superb action.
That's what heavyweight boxing does. You just never know what's going to happen next.
And that title's on the line coming up.
Yeah, it's the heavyweights now. Look, we love the heavyweights, isn't it? I've always said every single fight card, David, should have a heavyweight fight on it. Because that's what the crowd want to see, right? They want to see the big boys going at each other.
They want to see the big guns. They want to see the knockouts. A 9 out of 10 in a heavyweight clash, particularly young guys who are coming to win, have got something to prove. They throw the bombs. And, we have to have a heavyweight fight on every show, 100%.
And you look at the 4 heavyweight fights we've got, all of those guys can knock each other out. I mean, there's some big boys in there.
It's an awful lot of combined weight, mate, when you put it that way. I'm not sure that stage is reinforced enough to take it, but ultimately, listen, this is what the boxing is built on, the heavyweight division. It's the glamour division. You know, the most famous face in the world used to be the heavyweight champion of the world, so there's a reason why we all love it.
Yeah, the first one up is Johnny Fisher versus Harry Armstrong. Johnny Fisher going for the Southern Area heavyweight title. Let's cross over to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues. As live on the zone, Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 10 rounds for the vacant Southern Area Heavyweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, professional record 5 victories, 1 defeat, 1 draw. He fights out of Torquay, Devon. Please welcome Dirty Harry Armstrong. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, undefeated in his campaign as a professional, with a record of 9 victories, no defeats, 8 of his 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Romford, here's the 6'5" big man, Johnny the Romford Bull Fisher. Now to scale, Dirty Harry Armstrong. 250.8 for Dirty Harry Armstrong, 250.8. Now to the scale, the undefeated Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher. 242.8 for the Romford Bull, the undefeated Johnny Fisher.
You know, Darren, I speak to a lot of people in the trade, and look, Johnny Fisher the favourite for this one, but a lot of people wouldn't be shocked if Harry Armstrong proves that maybe he could be a level above Johnny Fisher.
Do you know what it is with Armstrong, which Johnny Fisher doesn't have on his side, is the fact he's been doing this his whole life. He's been boxed as an amateur since a kid, and he's handy. He can move, he can jab, and he may be able to cause Johnny Fisher a lot of problems with that movement, with that jab.
David, I know you were always a heavyweight that was in shape. I mean, look at the shape there of Johnny Fisher. He's got in good shape, hasn't he?
It's a testament to his dedication, his nutrition, and the fact that he's in the gym consistently, fights regularly, and he spars. He's been down to the gym over the last 2 years. I've seen him spar with Derek Chisora. He just goes around and works and spars. I like to see that in a young heavyweight, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations against more experienced fighters behind closed doors to learn your craft. And hopefully the result of all that will culminate in a spectacular knockout, as this is where it really matters on a big stage, big heavyweight stage with AJ. If he can go out and get a knockout in a spectacular manner, that just keeps pushing him forward, for those bigger fights and bigger titles.
It certainly does. That's the first ever heavyweight fights. Tony Bellew, the man coming up next, Filip Hrgovic. A lot of people have been talking about Hrgovic for years. I remember seeing video footage of when David Haye brought him into the camp, and him and Deontay Wilder going toe-to-toe for it. How good is Hrgovic, and is he still the guy we think he can be?
He's very good. It's top and bottom of it. He's very, very good. Vastly experienced as an amateur, dangerous, can punch, takes a good shot. Yeah, he's a problem, he really is. So it'll be interesting to see how he's manoeuvred after this, because I know he's a mandatory challenger and he's going to want fights himself now after this, but he's got a platform here tomorrow night, and he's got to shine. Simple as that.
All right, let's see how they get on this crossover to David Diamante for the weigh-ins.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited about this next contest. It's a Nixon-ill, 2 undefeated heavyweights vie for the top spot for the IBF heavyweight spot. And right now, coming to the stage, brought to you by Eddie Hearn in association with Wasserman Boxing. Now making his way to the stage, he's a southpaw. He's undefeated, as I said, 22 fights, no defeats, 14 big wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Ipswich, Queensland, Australia. Here is the former Queensland heavyweight champion, the former Australian heavyweight champion, and he's the reigning and undefeated IBF Intercontinental heavyweight champion. Now coming to the stage, Dempsey, the Tower McKean. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, also undefeated as a professional. 15 fights, 15 victories, 12 of his 15 victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Zagreb, Croatia, he is the former IBF International Heavyweight Champion, El Animal, Filip Hrgović. Now to the scale, the Tower, Dempsey McKean. $245.5 for the Tower, Dempsey McKean, 245.5. And now to the scale, the undefeated El Animal, Filip Hrgović. 243, 1 ounce for Filip Hrgović. 243.1 for El Animal, Filip Hrgović.
Filip Hrgović, a lot of people think a top 10, maybe even higher than that, top 6, top 7 heavyweight. He was on the card. As soon as Dillian Whyte got removed from the card, there was a lot of talks about Hrgović potentially versus Anthony Joshua. Why do you think they didn't do that one, Tony? Hrgović versus AJ.
Why would you do something like that on a week's notice? You're not thinking like a businessman at all like this. I haven't rubbed off on you whatsoever, Addy. That's not how it works, mate. Hrgović is mandatory challenger, but I think it's Usyk.
Yeah, IBF.
So why would he risk it? And then also AJ would be like, what have I got to gain? I beat you, and then guess what? I'm mandatory for Usyk again. So it makes no sense.
How good was Hrgović in that sparring that you brought him in a long time ago now?
A long time, 10 years ago. He was very good. He was very good. Big heart, you know, great jab. You can feel the amateur credentials that he had. You know, he's been around. He's fought world-level amateurs all over the world. And, you know, here he is. It's taken him a little while to get to the position where he's in a final eliminator. But he's here. And, you know, he had the fight against Zhang, which wasn't, you know, his best performance. Obviously, he had an issue. Obviously, his family, he had a death in the family, so it was, you know, you let him off there. But this is his chance against another southpaw to show what he's all about. Because I think it's actually worked out well for him, the fact that his last two opponents, if he wins this one, going into Usyk fight, were southpaws, because it gives him that practice. And I think he's a very tough opponent for Usyk, and he knows that. So that's why I think the fight with, even if AJ would have offered it to him, from a business point of view, how about winning the titles first, then defending them against AJ would have made a lot more money for him, and it would have been a bigger fight. So he's done the right thing, maintaining this. I think it's IBF final eliminator, so he's doing the right thing, and he's a very, very credible opponent, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he looks.
When he landed on the scene, this is Hrgović, when Hrgović landed on the scene, if you were to have told me 10 years later he's not fought for a world title, I would have said you're mad. I would have thought he would have moved on and fought for a world title. Are you shocked that he hasn't progressed as quickly as we maybe thought he would have?
Perhaps. And on the flip side here, I just want to talk about Dempsey McKean here and the fight that Hrgović had with Zhang. Like, it surprises me, with someone with such extensive amateur experience, he really struggled with the southpaw stance. He was dropped in the first round with a lead right hook. He couldn't miss with a left hand straight down the middle, Zhang. And for someone who's had such an established, like I say, amateur background, I can't believe that he struggled so much with a southpaw stance.
Do you think Zhang won that fight?
I can.
I do.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, but he was in one of the best southpaws.
I absolutely hate southpaws, so I fully get why.
Yeah, but he struggled. And one thing I'll say, look, we don't know how good Dempsey McKean is yet. We know Zhang's a very, very good fight. We see what he done against Joyce afterwards. But Dempsey McKean, you see him in stature there, very similar in size. He's got a long lead arm. He moves. He's nimble for a heavyweight. So it could be a real banana skin. If you've got Hrgović favourite in this fight, which he probably is, this is what a banana skin is. It could be a slip up for Hrgović.
Indeed, it is. The next one we're waiting for now is Derek Chisora versus Gerald Washington. Look, both of you know Derek very, very well. You know him outside the ring as well as inside the ring. Derek Chisora, It's still going, right? The old war horse is still going.
Yeah,
Gerald Washington isn't a spring chicken either. This foot could be carnage, right? Both of those guys can punch. Both of them have got knockout power. This could be one of the interesting ones on the fight card.
The crazy thing is, Gerald Washington has knocked out Robert Helenius.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. And Robert Helenius has got the big fight.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but then Derek and Gerald know each other, friends, and they're going to throw it all away and just punch each other's faces in. So, yeah, listen, fair play to them. I don't know how much more I can take with Derek, I'm not going to lie.
But that's the question. When does he stop? When does he stop?
I'm sorry to say this, but it's going to be a sad case if boxing will retire Derek if Derek doesn't want to retire from boxing.
Yeah,
and that's the horrible side that can happen in our sport, and I don't want to see that because I love him and he knows that, but he has to be looking at now. It is coming towards the end.
Indeed, there is Derek Chisora ready to weigh in. So let's go back over to our MC, Mr. David Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening. As Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, in association with Skills Challenge Entertainment, are proud to present 10 rounds of boxing in an international heavyweight contest. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 20 victories, 5 defeats, 1 draw, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Vallejo, California, USA, please welcome El Gallo Negro, Gerald Washington. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. You guys know him well. Professional record, 33 victories, 13 defeats, 23 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the former British, the former Commonwealth, the former European, the former WBO Intercontinental, and the former WBA International Heavyweight Champion, proudly fighting out of Finchley, North London, England, Derek Chisora. Now to scale, El Gallo Negro, Gerald Washington. .9 for El Gallo Negro, Gerald Washington, 237.9. And now to scale, Derek Chisora.
What up, bro? The numbers,
251 and 1 ounce for Derek Chisora, 251.1.
To the front first, please, guys.
How the fuck you gonna ask for more money? You hear this? That's for more money.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, that's what you did.
I said, where are we at?
Yeah, that's what you did. Yeah.
No, that's the question.
And he phoned Al Heyman. I know he fucking told Al Heyman to shut his fucking trap, boy.
Face to face, boys.
Interesting to hear what Chisora is saying there to Gerald Washington. I'm lucky I've got my ears and I can hear him saying, Gerald Washington, you asked for more money. Why did you ask for more money? Chisora always talks about money, doesn't he? He's upset that Gerald Washington asked for more money on the eve of the fight.
Well, that's the tactic that he's played himself.
Yeah.
So, and it's a tactic many fighters will play, especially when the main event falls through the way it did. So, I think it's not uncalled for, but it's expected. But this is the boxing game, Addy. If Derek wants to win this fight, he can't be friends with Gerald Washington. He has to jump all over him and make it an absolute dogfight. It's the only chance he has of winning this fight.
Can he still do that, David? I mean, does he still have that in him?
That's all he can do.
Yeah.
Now, he can try and box at long range, but that's not what he's built to do. You know, he's built to come forward, get into range, and let those big bombs fly. And that's what he's going to do here. You know, he knows if it goes to long range, with Gerald Washington, he's got a very good long range jab. He can keep it long. He's got a nice right hand down the pipe. Derek's got to get on his chest, and he's got to rough him up inside and drown him as early as possible.
I'm so excited. But I'm working on something big right now. And the thing I'm working on right now is so big, you're all going to love it. I'm trying to get David Haye and Tony 3 rematch. And it's going to be happening soon. Yeah? So, Eddie, are we doing it?
What do you guys think? You guys are right over there. What do they think?
Go on, let me hear it from both of you. Tony, see, both of you, I said at the start of the show, both of you, I always can tell when you're in that kind of fight mode. Tony Bellew, David Haye 3. Hey, he'll set up the O2 Arena.
I'm 0-2 with this game so far.
So you might need one.
I'll need 3. I need 3 fights to even the score, really.
Oh, we're old and past it.
Don't be beating your drafting me in for sparring if the fight happens.
Indeed, it is. I like having you guys here instead of in the ring.
Yes, I like being here.
So please make sure you stay there instead of the ring. Look, AJ versus Helenius weighing coming up in a couple of minutes. I caught up with Anthony Joshua midweek. This is what he had to say about the big fight. Here we are, fight week. Again?
Yes, sir.
Different type of fight week.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the mentality going forward with this one? Is it a case of just a fight, we go again? Or was there ever a thought of, we're not doing this?
Yeah, because of the dangers of a late replacement. But then it's like, that's just the mind thinking that, and then it's like, stay professional, stay focused, do your film study, and don't take the guy lightly. And that was it. And also, I had to consider the fact that the undercard fighters have spent a lot of money in training camp, and I just thought it was important for the show to still go ahead. Because if I didn't fight now, maybe I would want to fight in the next 4 weeks. But still, what's the difference? Let's just roll the dice.
When you get that phone call, whatever time it was, is it disappointment, anger? What's the first thing that goes through your mind?
If I'm honest, in today's society, in today's modern era boxing, a little bit of me can say it's expected. It's just, these things happen now. So yeah, that's it. I just thought, part of the game, who's next? I didn't really get upset. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, someone's been caught on drugs. It's like, oh, someone else. What's next?
Speaking to a lot of boxing people, I think a lot of people expected this fight to be pulled
and
cancelled. So the fact we are having a show on Saturday is down to you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
No, it's down to you though. It really is. You didn't have to do this.
I didn't, no. But then I think, as I said, it's like, what's the point in not? This is like, these are the best years of my life. Fighting and competing. It's, look, trust me, it's so tough. Anyone that's trying to become champion or unified or undisputed, it's so tough. But on the flip side of it, these are the best days of my life. So why would I not go and have a fight on Saturday and give it my best and roll the dice? So that's why I just thought, let's just, as I said, it doesn't matter about late replacement. Let's just roll the dice and get on with it. Because it's interesting quickly. Sunday comes around, Monday comes around, and it's just like, everyone moves on. You know, I've been waiting for this moment for the last 3 months, so we're here now. Nearly.
Helenius, let's talk about him. I just spoke to him downstairs, very confident, speaks well, massive man. Massive man. And I asked him about the Wilder fight, and he said he doesn't think of that. He thinks of the 2 performances against Kaunaki before that as his best performance, that the Wilder thing just happens. You walk into a right hand, it happens. When you think of Helenius, what do you think of?
They're very talented, like very talented, like one of the veterans of the sport, in my opinion. Like if you look at the old school, he's one of the OGs of the game, you know, experienced, has his war wounds, knows how to deal with setbacks and come back. And like, I look at it and I say, people always tell me, oh, if I lose, I should retire. But I've never been like on the floor, touch wood, wherever the wood is, counted out.
It's wood?
I've never been counted out completely for the 10 count. He has, but he's managed to showcase with resilience, with belief. Look at the position he's in now, where he's fighting again in a great headliner show, probably one of the best undercards we've seen in a long time that isn't pay-per-view. He's got the right mindset, so credit to him.
Yeah. The last time, obviously, you know the story about you taking a late replacement.
Yes.
It didn't go too well.
Yes.
And I know you're very meticulous with everything. So it made me feel like, because of that, as soon as I heard Dillian Whyte's out, I said AJ's not going to fight.
Yeah.
Because I know you're very meticulous.
That was part of my process. Yeah. That was part of the process, because you have to learn from previous situations. But then I thought, I've had this situation when I was supposed to fight Pulev, and then I fought Takam instead as a late replacement. And as I said, there was an obligation and responsibility to make sure this show still goes ahead. So it's a mindset now. It's not just like the reality. It's like, all right, in my mind, I just visioned and I said, forget it. Don't matter who it is, I'm going in to win.
What was fight camp like with Derek James this time around? This is your second fight camp with him, right? A full fight camp. How difficult was it, or how easy was it, or challenging was it?
It's challenging. It's challenging. But he gets me in condition to fight. I think that's one of his main priorities in fight camp for me was like, listen, I've got to get this boy in shape to fight. With these heavyweights, they're big, they're strong, and like training in that heat, training in Vegas, like being here now, still sparring, all that stuff. I'm like, damn, like, this ain't easy. But I trust his process, and I trust him as a person, not just as a coach, but as a person. I listen to what he says, his values, his morals, and that aligns with who he is as a coach. So I put all my trust into him.
Final one. How far away would you say you are? And I feel like I know what your answer's going to be here. Please try. From being the complete fighter you want to be. From what
I'm here now. I'm here. I'm here. It's all in the mind. Like, I know how to fight. I done my camp with Derek. The first camp was me understanding what he wanted, and there were certain things that he would tell me that he didn't agree with, and even me as a fighter, I'd be like, that don't really work for me. But this camp, we spent quality time together, and he's been able to show me where things work, and I'm like, all right, I see. And I've also showed him things that work, and he's like, all right. Or he doesn't even say anything, which is nice, where before he would tell me, but now he just lets me do it because he's seen it's working. So I'm back. We're here now. Let's roll.
Well done,
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, just a couple of minutes away now from seeing AJ hit the scales against Robert Helenius. Helenius is here. I can see him over my shoulder. AJ is in the building. He's making his way to us in a couple of minutes. Anthony Joshua against Jermaine Franklin. We all expected and wanted to see a knockout. It wasn't the performance we got, was it? How much pressure on AJ to deliver on Saturday and get back to that old AJ, putting people to sleep?
I would say a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Like Tony said at the top here, this cannot go past 6 rounds. He's got to... I don't even think it's about finding the old AJ. It's about committing to the shots. I think in that Franklin fight, not to get too technical here, but it was like he was pulling the shots and stopping. Just fully rotate and commit to your work. And I think if we can see that, it will go no longer than 4 rounds.
Yeah, there's AJ signing gloves. If someone can just maybe hold those gloves so he can get on the scales, would be very appreciative. What do you make of AJ under Derek James, David?
I think, every so often you need a little shake-up, a little change, a change of environment, a change of other fighters around you in training camp. I think it's a good thing. If he feels it's a good thing, I saw in the last fight, he showed me something similar that he showed in the Andy Ruiz second fight. Control, patience, having a game plan, sticking to it. Great. Now let's make the game plan. Get in there, throw 2 or 3 punches, get out, then jump back in 2 phases of attack. The last fight, it was a 1-2, then stepped away and walked away. Get back in there. You need to hurt someone and then hurt them again. And to do that against someone like Helenius, that's useful. He can then take some of that and bring it into the Wilder fight. But trying to land one jab and moving away, a 1-2 and holding, you've got to start throwing punches in clusters in multiple phases. 2 or 3 shots, roll out and throw it again. Don't jump out of range. Stay in the battle zone, respectfully and technically correct, obviously. Don't want to take unnecessary punches, but you have to be in a battle zone to do the damage, otherwise you're not going to do any damage.
Indeed. You went to Dallas, Texas. You were there in the camp. You saw AJ training alongside Derek James. What do you make of AJ in a new environment?
It's working for him, He looked really good in camp. He's working extremely hard. What you'd have to understand is he'll always change tactics with the fighters that present themselves to him. So we've seen a patient side of him as far back as someone when he faced Joseph Parker. We've seen a side of him that can make a fight boring, but he can still win on a jab. And then we've seen different versions of like the Pool 11 Povetkin fights where he's aggressive early on, hits his man, then takes his time and breaks him down. Or you can have an all-out war AJ, which is very similar to what we've seen with the Klitschko fight. So it just depends on which version of Helenius puts it on Josh. I think Helenius is going to come to fight, and that will draw the best out of Josh. I just think he'll walk onto one, and I said, don't see this going past 6 rounds, Addy.
Yeah, let's see how both the men weigh in as well. We're ready now. AJ versus Helenius. Let's cross over to David Diamante.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's wonderful to see everybody out here today at Westfield at Shepherd's Bush, London, England, live on DAZN for the official weigh-in for our big night of world-class professional boxing taking place tomorrow night at the O2 Arena. And it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening. As Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, in association with 258 Management, AJ Boxing, and TGB Promotions, are proud to present 12 rounds in an international heavyweight clash. Now making his way to the stage, please welcome, with a record of 32 wins, 4 defeats, 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Helsinki, Finland. He's the former WBC Silver and IBF Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and he's the reigning WBA Gold Heavyweight titleist, known as the Nordic Nightmare, Robert Helenius. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, 25 victories against 3 defeats. He has 22 big wins coming by way of knockout. Proudly fighting out of and representing his home of Watford, England. Here is the 2012 Olympic gold medalist and the former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, Robert Helenius. And now the scale, AJ Anthony Joshua.
Middle.
250 bang on for AJ, 250 pounds bang on for Anthony Joshua.
Looking in good shape.
Good shape as always, Darren. I think he looks absolutely fantastic. To be fair, Robert Helenius is in good shape for someone that size. The Nordic Nightmare, you know, has obviously carried on his training from last Saturday's victory, and he also looks in good shape.
David, could you take anything away from the stare down?
They're both fired up. They're both in great condition. You know, having a fighter coming in with less than a week's notice, usually they're not looking as lean and mean as that. But Helenius obviously had a fight last Saturday, so he's in great shape. Have a few hard sessions, as he said. Now he's tapering down, ready for the big one tomorrow. Good.
Yeah, we'll be so interested to see how AJ approaches this fight. Will we see some rounds on the back foot? Will we see an explosive finish? Really,
seriously, they're from
intense stare down there.
I like that bit. I like the words. You don't normally see
telling people, tell them what's going to happen.
Either we're going to fight now, we're going to fight tomorrow. Either way, we're going to fight.
I hope he's telling him he's going to knock him out.
Acting out here that really means shit to me unless you're going to fight right here now. You know what I'm trying to say? Just stay calm and stay cool. I'm cool.
I think Josh is taken back by the fact that he's willing to give it some himself, so it all takes shape tomorrow, and I'm sure it'll lead to a good night. But Josh is letting him know, listen, I'm not here to play games.
I like that look. I like that look. I don't like the pally hugging each other and kissing each other.
That was a very, very long stare down, and both of you said some words to each other. What was said at the stare down?
Nothing important.
This is very short notice for you. The last time that AJ took a short notice fight, it was one of the biggest upsets in heavyweight history when he lost to Andy.
I am here to upset.
You're here for your upset? Exactly. Congratulations. Good luck on Saturday, Robert Helenius. Thank you. AJ, don't go anywhere, AJ. Derek, 1 second, Derek. Let's get a word with the former unified heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, as you throw out some caps. AJ, a lot's happened in the last week or so. AJ, a lot's happened in the last week or so, but the goal remains the same, right? Victory on Saturday, and then potentially, I know you want another crack at a world title in the future, but you've got to get victory on Saturday.
Yes, that's correct. How's everyone doing today as well? Really good turnout. So we're here for the weigh-in today. Everyone, I appreciate everyone coming out, but tomorrow will come anyway, so let's just enjoy today, and I appreciate everyone here. At the top, right at the top, I see everyone up there as well. Really good, really good.
Final one, how difficult has the last week been for you? Remember, this was supposed to be you versus Dillian Whyte, right? A man that you know very, very well. Lastminute.com, we get a replacement in Robert Helenius. How difficult has it been?
No problem at all. Stay professional, keep a professional head on. Things happen in life. So no complaining. These are the best days of my life. A little blip in my day didn't change the whole trajectory of how my training camp went. Stay focused, and as I said, I'm just happy that I'm still getting a day in the ring tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. This is my job. This is what I love doing, and when I'm victorious, I can't wait to get out again ASAP.
And final one on the fans that always turn out for you. Obviously, look, packed here in Westfield. Quick word on the fans.
Oh no, I'd like to spend time with everyone here if I could. Yes, Joel. See the man them here as well. I see you as well. Yeah, I see a couple of my friends here. If I could, I'll spend the whole day with these people, but I've got to stay focused. I'm still in training camp mode. Still got a job to do tomorrow. And then from Sunday, Monday, I'll be back local in the estate, chilling out, so everyone can come down and visit me. We'll have a community day and stuff like that.
Good luck on Saturday, AJ. Let's see if we can get a word with Eddie Hearn here very quickly. Eddie, the show does go on. That was interesting, the way, and you were right there. You heard what they said in the face-off. That got very, very tense very quickly.
Yeah, it was spicy. It was good because we've got to be focused for this fight. Sometimes you have a build-up like the Dillian Whyte fight. Sometimes you can feel a little bit deflated. I didn't see a deflated Anthony Joshua. I probably saw a more pumped Anthony Joshua than I've ever seen. Never heard him speak like that in a face-to-face. You guys will get it all on the Matchroom behind the scenes. I like what I see. Helenius is here to fight. He's a giant of a man, 6'9", the Nordic Nightmare. He knows one punch in a heavyweight division can set him up for a multi-million-pound payday against Deontay Wilder. Helenius is here to win. AJ's got to stay focused. We go through Helenius on Saturday. We go through Deontay Wilder in January. We go through Tyson Fury next year. That's how the team are thinking, and that's how important it is to us. That's his mindset. He's here to destroy tomorrow night.
That's the main event. Very quickly, your thoughts on the undercard as well. It's a heavyweight, heavy card, right? Some really good matchups, good undercard as well. What's the fight you like most in the undercard?
You know what? This card is unbelievable from top to bottom. And I also wanted to have a shout out to DAZN. There's a lot of people who will be happy, me not so, of course, but they took this fight off pay-per-view. They're delivering it to customers as part of their subscription. The subscription value is second to none. And tomorrow night, you have the best card that we've ever done off pay-per-view. The heavyweight matchups are incredible. Johnny Fisher against Harry Armstrong, trust me, that is going to be a war at the O2 in front of the Romford Bull Army. Filip Hrgovic, of course, against Dempsey McKean for the IBF #1 spot. The winner fights Usyk or Dubois. And then Derek Chisora against Washington in a pure 50-50 matchup. Those guys are fighting for their career. And then for me, one of the biggest stars in the sport. Tomorrow night at the O2 will be rocking in there, live on DAZN around the world. Don't miss it. We keep everything crossed. for the continuation of this incredible journey.
Certainly does. Fantastic, Eddie. Thank you very much. Look, everyone wants to see AJ get a destructive win on Saturday, and we can see it live on DAZN. All the way gets underway from 7 o'clock.
Tough times can even make you or break you. It was tough, but it made me.
This was the moment that Anthony Joshua became a major star.
I was just shouting at him like, come on, let's fight, where you running? And this is the passion of Dillian Whyte.
I thought there was going to be riots in the crowd, I really did. In the space of 6 years, he'd gone from being a raw novice to going in with one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Klitschko down for the second time and all over the place.
You're one shot away from trouble or disaster at any point.
You have to dig deep, and they're the type of fights that people remember for many years to come.
That was interesting. By the way, I'm just filling in the boys on what was said up there between AJ and Helenius. Basically, AJ was like, look, obviously the stare down went a bit longer than we expected, didn't it? Helenius wasn't badging off, was he? And AJ asked him, do you have a problem? And Helenius was like, what problem? I'm here to fight. And then AJ said, look, we can fight now. We can get paid and fight on Saturday. Helenius wasn't taking a backward step here. Helenius thinks he's coming to win. He thinks he's coming to win. He's confident that he can. He looks at the Wilder fight as a blip, and he looks at his performances against Adam Kalnaki and says, that's the Helenius that I think he thinks he's going to bring to the ring on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's going to need a performance of his life. Let's not get it wrong. I think the rounds that he had recently last weekend will hold him in good stead. Timing and distance will be there, but this is a different kettle of fish. We know what it's like when AJ fights at the O2. The roof comes off that place. So that's going to be an experience he's going to have to try and overcome. But look, he's a solid opponent. He's a good opponent, but I just feel look, the writing's on the wall for me. I just feel AJ will perform on Saturday night.
Can I get predictions from all of you, Daz? Fourth round stoppage for AJ. Just to make sure it's for AJ there. You've got to make sure, haven't you?
Third round.
Third, okay.
Within the first 6 rounds, he deals.
I like that. He's a man that plays the poker.
No, he shouldn't see the second. If it does see the second part of the fight, that should be because he wants it to, opposed to not being able to implement. 6 rounds is a long time to be in there fighting someone. 6 rounds, he should get to him at some stage and close the show.
You have to understand, AJ is one of the best finishers in the heavyweight division. When he hits his man, he finishes them all the time.
But it's been a long time since we've seen that, no?
Not too long, Eddie, not too long.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, he's hit far better fighters like Kubrat Pulev than Helenius, so I expect him to land early on. Maybe a little wobble in the first or second round, but I expect him to be well rid of him by the third.
What if, because I think we all kind of maybe said this against Jermaine Franklin, right? A lot of people predicted AJ to knock out Franklin, no? I think we all did. What if it goes to the points? What if it goes there?
Right, look, it'll be gutted. It'll be gutted. I think a lot of people will be disappointed. I think a lot of people have brought a ticket to, well, they first off to see him knock out Dillian Whyte, but now to knock out Helenius. But I think deep down, like I asked him the question on Wednesday, will you be disappointed? And he said no comment. 100% he will be. 100%. But the main thing here, look, he has to win. There's a huge fight looming potentially in January. Don't like me talking about it, but if that Wilder fight, I think, just requires him winning, but I know he'll want the knockout.
Yeah, AJ doing the media rounds.
He's got to win and look good winning. Yeah. And by looking good winning, it's a knockout.
Maybe he didn't want to put any additional pressure on himself, saying he wants a knockout, so if he doesn't, he hasn't sort of failed. But he needs to understand people are coming to see the heavyweight division to see knockouts. That's what you got to aim to do. And if you don't do that, you can be unhappy.
Gerald Washington knocks him out. AJ has to knock him out.
Yeah, sure. It's that simple, isn't it? There's the yardstick measurement, right? Deontay Wilder knocked him out in a round as well. So he can be hurt. Dupas has knocked him out as well previously. So he can be hurt. AJ, this is what AJ will do, by the way, for about an hour. He'll do the media, and then he'll go into the crowd and do that. And no doubt he'll probably go and hit pads a bit later as well. Look, good night of boxing expected on Saturday. That's it now, isn't it? The weigh-ins have made it official. Remember, it all goes down tomorrow night at the O2 before the bell kicks off at 5:15, before we are live on DAZN from 7 o'clock. Should be a good one. Make sure you tune in.
They're looking at it and going, one shot, we knock this guy out. We
we have got the opportunity of a lifetime.
If he's on form, he could be a real handful. It's known as the Nordic Nightmare.
I don't like the fact that Helenius is 6'8".
Utterly ruthless.
Long arm.
Boom!
Got a good jab.
This is really a dangerous fight.
Is it actually worth this risk or gamble?